I'm going to teach you how to prevent ageism from affecting your job search. If you are over 45, you are already at risk of age discrimination, and it gets worse every year. Because of this, you need to be prepared to hide your age when appropriate, and when your age does become apparent, you need to be prepared to address the underlying concerns that employers have when considering hiring an older professional. In this video, I'm going to walk you through why employers are concerned about hiring older professionals, how to hide your age in your resume, how to prevent ageism from affecting your LinkedIn profile, and what to do in job interviews if you're worried about ageism. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I will tell you how to enter to win a free resume review from me. Now, there are 4 reasons why hiring managers and companies are sometimes hesitant to hire older professionals. Now, the better we understand those reasons, the more we will be able to address them. So, firstly, there is a concern about availability. They don't want to spend all this time hiring you, training you, getting you up to speed, only to have you retire shortly. Or if you're facing possible health issues that may take you out of action, they would also have some concerns there. So we'll talk about how to address those in the resume and the LinkedIn and the interviews in a moment. Next is adaptability. This one is fairly easy to address, but there are concerns around older professionals' ability to adapt to and use new technology and keep up on trends in the market. The third thing is relatability. Now, some of these companies are worried about the general vibe. How will you get along with their employees, with themselves? And there's also a concern, often from younger hiring managers, that they are not going to be effective in giving you direction as their direct report if you're a lot older than them. And finally, the cost. Often, more experienced professionals do demand a higher salary, which can place some strain on the company. So each one of these things is very addressable throughout each phase of our application and interview process. Let's go through each phase right now so you can address all these things. Now, in our resume, we're going to address some of these concerns, but the most important thing we can do is just try to hide our age completely. So a couple of things to look out for, and this resume is very exposed to ageism, so it'll make a great example. First, a lot of us have our birth year somewhere in our email address, so make sure you're using an email that does not contain your birth year. Next, when we're summarizing our year's experience, we don't want to say something like 24 years experience. It's a lot more effective if we just say something like 15 plus years of experience. Speaking of which, when we are choosing how far back to go in our experience, we do not want to go further back than 20 years. So this job, although it was a great experience, we are going to get rid of it because it does expose our age. Finally, when we're getting rid of age-related evidence, we want to remove the graduation years from our resumes. Next, to address the adaptability concern, we are going to add a technical proficiency section that shows all the software and technology that we're familiar with. And then a nice way to just put them at ease around our health issues, our availability, our ability to keep up on trends. I like to add a personal interest section that might mention some of our healthy, active hobbies and other modern things we like to do. Now, if we make all of these adjustments to our resume, we're going to see a much higher rate of interviews coming our way. Now, of course, this is only one piece of the puzzle, so let's dive in and talk about how we can adjust our LinkedIn profiles next. Now, our LinkedIn profiles are going to look largely the same as our resume. We're going to add the same experience, the same skills, the same technical proficiencies, and we can even add some of our personal interests into the About Me section of our profile. In fact, LinkedIn is largely going to match up with our resume, but there is one glaring difference, which is, of course, LinkedIn requires a profile photo. Unfortunately, leaving our LinkedIn profile without a photo is not a very good option because it does leave our profile looking incomplete, and we don't want to come across as someone who does not pay enough attention to detail to complete something important like our LinkedIn profile. Also, it is a great idea to have people prepared to see what you look like before they meet you in an interview so that they're ready to have a great conversation with you from the jump. So when it comes to preventing ageism in our LinkedIn profile pictures, I have 2 options. Option number 1, which I would highly recommend, is just bringing our most elevated and confident selves into the photo. So this might mean having a new fresh haircut, wearing an outfit that makes you feel professional and confident, and of course just smiling and making eye contact with the camera. Here's a couple great examples of that. Now, as you're preparing to take your LinkedIn profile photo, I recommend you check out this video I created, which walks you through how to do that very well at home for free. Now, the second option we have is to use a picture that is a little bit older when we looked a little bit younger. Now, this is a bit of an ethical gray area, and of course, we don't want to completely deceive them because they're going to see how we look today at some point. But if you are not feeling very confident with the pictures that you have available, this is something that could be worth a try. Again, I would highly recommend just taking a nice new picture, but this option is on the table for you as well. Now that we have our resume and our LinkedIn optimized to protect us from age discrimination, we're likely to see a lot more interviews come our way. And when we have these interviews, of course, we are going to meet these people face to face. So let's talk about how to address the 4 underlying concerns of ageism, that is availability, adaptability, relatability, and cost during a job interview. And after we go over interviews, I'll tell you how you can enter to win a free resume review from me, so stick around for that. First, while we're addressing the availability portion of ageism concerns, we are largely going to do that during the tell me about yourself question. We are going to mention a few things. Firstly, how does this job tie into our 10-year plan for our career? And also, be sure to mention that we intend to spend at least 3 to 5 years with this company. That will quell any concerns they have about your longevity once they've got you trained and actually good at the job. And second, it's also great to mention some things you like to do outside of work at the end of the tell me about yourself answer. So we might share that when I'm not busy with work, I enjoy hiking, yoga, and any other healthy or active activities that you enjoy. Now that we've addressed our availability, we want to make sure they're comfortable with our adaptability. So this is largely going to happen when we're answering behavioral questions about our past experience. And by the way, if you want to learn how to answer those questions with a proper structure, check out this video I made here. Now, whenever we're telling stories about our past successes, it is crucial to showcase our adaptability by making sure we mention the technology that we used in each of these experiences we're referring to, any major changes that we were a part of, and of course, anytime we integrated new trends into our work. Technology, change, and trends are some of the biggest concerns folks have with working with older professionals, so we need to put those concerns to bed in our answers. Now, let's talk about relatability. This is obviously going to come across a lot more in how you behave rather than anything you specifically say. So here are a few pointers on just exercising some strong, relatable behavior in an interview. First, we want to keep our answers concise and on topic. I typically say anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes is a good interview answer length. Second is to listen effectively. This just means not cutting anyone off, letting people finish their thoughts. And number 3, just be friendly. Underlying all these concerns, they just want to make sure that you're going to be someone who they enjoy working with. So of course, be agreeable, follow the flow of conversation, ask them questions, and you'll be just fine. And the final thing that they're going to be concerned with is cost. So here is my advice on addressing that issue. So to address the concern of cost, before an interview, make sure you go to glassdoor.com, check out their salaries tab here, and then just type in the name of the job that you're applying to and the location, and you'll get a nice base pay range here. And I'd recommend just asking for something well within this range. So now we know how to address each one of the hiring manager's key concerns in our resume, our LinkedIn profile, and in interviews related to ageism. Now, if you want to make sure your resume is a 10 out of 10 and is selling you perfectly so that you are attracting attention and getting more interviews for any job, check out my free resume writing course right here on YouTube, which I created. And to enter to win a free resume review from me, leave a comment down below that has the word ageism in it somewhere.